Someone stole my package of poisonous mushrooms. I shouted for hours, but no one admitted it. After dinner, I heard ambulance sirens and cries coming from next door. That night, the neighbor's elderly mother came banging on my door demanding compensation, not realizing that theft was the real crime. I am a chef specializing in wild mushrooms here in Oregon. One day, the FedEx package containing my extremely poisonous mushrooms was stolen. These mushrooms, if not prepared correctly, are deadlier than rat poison. I immediately spammed the neighborhood watch group chat and used a megaphone for 2 hours straight warning everyone. Still, no one returned the package. After dinner, I heard frantic crying from next door. Minutes later, an ambulance sped away with a child. At midnight, the old lady next door started banging on my door, accusing me of poisoning her grandson and demanding compensation. I almost laughed. She tried to use my mushrooms to get rid of someone, and she's the one who should be in jail. Dude, what's in this box? Why does it say Munchstyle Plisons on it? The FedEx guy asked, pointing at the package with curious eyes. Wild mushrooms flown in from Oregon. Deadly poisonous. If you eat them without proper preparation, best case scenario, you end up in the HUE. Worst case, you were pushing up daisies. I am serious. That's why I told you to deliver it directly to me, not leave it at the front desk. If someone takes it and eats them, we'll have a major problem. The FedEx guy looked skeptical. Mojo, really? I've heard Oregon mushrooms can make you hallucinate, like see little cartoon characters flying around. Like a real-life BioWare trip. I accept. Even native Oregonians are incredibly cautious with wild mushrooms, following strict cooking procedures to avoid, dying. But somehow the internet's turned mushroom poisoning into a joke. Like seeing cartoon characters is a fun party trick. It makes people underestimate how dangerous these things really are. Rat poison, a kind that can wipe out a whole family. These are worse. Unless you go to a specialized restaurant and have a professional prepare them. Eating these is like eating rat poison straight from the box. Don't ever underestimate a foodie's warning, especially when they were this serious. If even Oregonians treat these mushrooms with extreme caution, outsiders should steer clear. I gave the FedEx guy a hard look, but he clearly thought I was exaggerating. Whatever, I had a dinner to prepare. I'd spent a fortune getting ready for this special guest, a potential investor in my private dining business. All the ingredients were ready. All I needed were these mushrooms for the main course. I rode my scooter home after saying goodbye to the FedEx guy. Our complex is pretty big. When I got to the charging station, the place was a mess. Scooters were parked haphazardly everywhere. No way I could squeeze mine in, so I got off and started straightening some of them. The poison package was still hanging on my handlebar. A minute or two later, I turned around and my heart sank. The package was gone. I immediately started yelling, "Aperture, did anyone take my package? It's really poisonous, incredibly dangerous. If you saw it, please give it back." I walked around the nearby building searching and shouting. No response. I started wondering if it had fallen off my scooter on the way from the security gate. I jumped back on my scooter, retracing my route, scanning every inch of the ground. I practically interrogated every ant. Nothing. I burst into the security office and asked them to check the cameras. Of course, the charging station area was a blind spot. The footage showed me arriving with the package on my handlebar, then leaving without it. During that time, one other person had come to charge their scooter. It was a guy in his 30s, Dan Miller. Ward chatted a few times while walking our dogs. He even waved at me as I was moving the scooters. He knew about the poisonous mushrooms. He wouldn't just steal them. Still, I called him. He answered right away and said he'd parked his scooter, waved at me, and gone straight up the stairs to his apartment. He lived on a lower floor and had heard me shouting. He could even wondered what was going on and if I needed help. Did you see anyone else?